What's going on, guys? It's Joseph Leon here. Today is June 1st, day number 10 of the 75 Hard Program, phase 1, guys. I can't believe we are already in month number 6, guys. Time is going by so fast. How are you guys doing on y'all's goals? Are y'all crushing them? Did you quit? Did you restart? Did you quit, restart, quit, restart? Drop down in the comment section how you guys are doing on y'all's goals so far from the beginning of this year, you guys. Right before we get started on this video, I just wanted to kind of give you some background. This is based off of a conversation that my nephew and I had months ago. And the information that he was giving me in regards to what he was doing just really intrigued me. And I felt like somebody could really benefit off this information. So it's going to be a 2-part video. Just for the sake of time, we're breaking it up into 2 parts, but obviously you're watching part 1, but part 2 will be uploaded tomorrow, guys. But hopefully you guys enjoy. If there's somebody who you know could benefit off this information, guys, please share, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, guys. Stay tuned. Tomorrow part 2 will be up. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Joseph Leon, and today is June 1st, guys. That means it is day 10 today. And guys, I'm really excited about today because today we're doing something special, something a little bit different, something I've never done before. Today I'm joined by none other than my nephew, Mr. Roger Castillo Jr., or as I know him, Raji. So if you guys hear me call him that by any chance, that's just the nickname that we've always had, that he's always had. So,
always.
And a couple of other ones too, right? But we won't go there on this one. So, but guys, I'm really excited because, you know, like I said, this is just something different that I've never done before. And this is kind of a conversation that is going to be picked up off of one that we had months ago, right? I mean, it was probably during the holidays last year, somewhere around there. But it really intrigued me, and I wanted to set this up because I believe it's could be good information for anybody out there. For sure. You know, so you know, having this sit down was an idea that we came up with, you know, just so we can kind of get it out there, you know, to anybody who may see this. It may not be many, but you know, whoever does see it may be able to benefit off of it. So without further ado, guys, we're going to get into this interview, and it's going to be in regards to a diet that Roger did here recently. So yeah, let's get it going. So what I wanted to ask, man, and I think I know the answer to this question. I'm about 99% sure I know the answer to this question. As a kid growing up, what was your diet like?
I would say 80% of it was Mexican food.
Yeah. Tortillas.
Yeah, tortillas. We knew that Saturday mornings coming out of school or coming out of even a work week, whenever we first got out of, first got into work, got out of school, we always knew there was going to be spam and egg on weekends and before church on Sundays. And of course my mom kind of raised us around not only of course Mexican food, but even like, she was kind of an all-around kind of cook, and thank God for that, because even myself, I'm not a picky eater. My brothers are a little different, especially my second brother. But so yeah, it kind of it was predominantly Mexican, Hispanic food, and but just fast food burgers. You could say seafood and sort of things like that. Even Chinese food as of late. Yeah, but really, because between like especially my dad, myself, and my third brother Randy, kind of the ones that would not mind seafood, like the Long John Silvers, or like,
That's funny because Long John Silver was the thing that turned me away from seafood. I got sick off of one experience when I was about 12 years old. And ever since, and then everybody tells me, well, why would you base it off of Long John Silver's? Where like, you can't judge seafood off of that. But it's funny because, as Latinos, Mexicanos, I mean, we grow up on tortillas, beans, rice,
fajitas,
fajitas and all that, and it's good stuff, right?
It really is.
And like for me, I know growing up, I was especially like the homemade tortillas, man. I mean, my mom
preferred those. Always.
Exactly. My mom almost got to the point where she didn't like making them because she'd get about 5 or 6 in there, and then as soon as we found out she was making them, boom, we're in the kitchen like putting butter on them and eating them up. So yeah, man. So that's I think I already knew the answer to that question, but I just I wanted to make sure, because I know as I got older as a teenager, I kind of switched to like ramen noodles and frozen
Yeah.
pizzas, you know,
quick,
real
something
easy,
quick.
something real
Those
quick.
little pizzas from H-E-B that
Exactly.
take 2
2 minutes in the
minutes.
microwave and you're eating already, you know? So,
Yeah.
you know, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, you know, was, you know, I think a lot of people, you know, as a whole can relate to that, you know, especially
sure.
Mexicans and
For sure.
Latinos. We're raised on tortillas, homemade tortillas and beans and rice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that's something that's kind of been missing in our culture is the awareness and the knowledge of what the foods that we eat, what it's doing to us, you know. So that kind of takes me into my second question is, what is your diet like now? What have you been eating now? And what's that been like?
Man, I would say, because people that even follow me on social media, and this is not like a thing to say, follow me, you know, but people that do follow me on social media, they do know that I love to eat. Like I am a foodie. I would, if I could have my own channel and whatnot, I would. I don't have time for that, or I could make time for it. But anyways, I would love to do that. You know, and be someone that would, you know, I always admire those guys off of the food channel where they get paid to go travel. Like
you almost get jealous, right?
Exactly.
They can go around anywhere around the whole world and just eat any kind of food that they want.
And so I kind of, you know, am that without doing it, you know?
Yeah.
And so anyways, part of my daily, you know, intake, personally speaking, is not only still Mexican food, but I would say even like there's time, even as of late, as far as like on the Hispanic Mexican side, you know, I don't eat much tortillas. Like my family knows that whenever my mom has the stack ready to go, I save my one or max two at the end of my meal.
Yeah.
Because I know, personally speaking, if I have it during the meal, I know I'm not gonna be able to enjoy the chicken that was prepared, the whatever that was prepared, because I'm chowing down on that first.
Yeah.
Like I know, and my wife knows me already. I don't do appetizers whenever we go out to eat, because I want to enjoy the meal.
Yeah.
I don't do even the bread that looks so good there at Longhorn Steakhouse. I don't do that. I don't, because I want to enjoy the steak. I want to enjoy the salad. I want to enjoy whatever I'm spending over $20 to get.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing, and as well, you know, I think I get it from my grandma. On my dad's side, I have a sweet tooth. I love sweets, and not just to say like the bad ones or, you know, the ones that are high in sugar, but even, you know, I love fruit. I love fruit. I love you know, anything that has, you know, a good sweet tasting to it.
Yeah.
Besides just like cakes and shakes and whatnot, that are all great. But one big thing about my diet per se is coffee. And
Yes.
I'm a huge
I know that.
coffee connoisseur.
Yep.
And so but yeah, so I mean,
every time I see a new coffee shop open up, you're the first person I think of, and I'm like, and I remember one time I had sent you a picture of a new coffee shop opening up so that you could try, and it's like, ever since then, man, it's like I see coffee shops popping up, and I'm like, Roger would probably get annoyed by how many pictures I'm sending him about how many coffee shops are opening up.
Which I don't get annoyed. I like it.
There's a ton of coffee shops. I'm like, man, it's like, once I saw that one, it's like I started to see a bunch of them start to pop up. But I will say, man, it is hard, because you're a better man than I am when it comes to that bread, boy. Because when you go to that steakhouse or any, you know, restaurant,
rolls and
the
yeast
rolls,
rolls,
they give you at the beginning. It's just like, man, how do you not put your hands on it?
Every
like,
time.
It's
Every time.
really difficult. So, you know, taking that option of just not ordering anything, or even telling the server, hey, no bread, you know, that's kind of what I come to realize, is that just making those better decisions, and it's not a huge decision, right? But it's just the small decisions that we make whenever we do go out to eat, or when we're at the grocery store. It's just making those little shifts in life that can really do us a lot of good in the long run.
Exactly.
And I think that kind of gets away from us, you know, as we're going out. We may not even think about that, you know, but it's just those small decisions that we can make, and that can really set a shift for ourselves and do us some good, you know, further down the line. So, no, man, I love it. So what I want to ask is the Danielfast.
Yes.
You know, so this is part of the conversation that me and him, Roger and I were having, you know, a few months ago, was, you know, him telling me about the Danielfast, because that's how I lost a good chunk of my weight. You know, a lot of you guys know, you guys have heard me talk about intermittent fasting. That's what I did to knock off big chunk of my weight. Not eating early in the morning. I've never really been a big breakfast eater, so I can go till about noon and not eat. Just water. Just drink water and I'm good. And then eat at about 12, and then by 6 or 7, I'm done. And there was even times where I would go like just till like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm done eating. I would intake all my calories that I need, and then I would stop eating. I didn't do it often, but I think Gloria probably saw the difference in me. I was probably a little bit more angry during that time, but when I did do it, I did see results. So intermittent fasting was huge. And me losing my weight, and I'm still on my journey even now. I'm not where I want to be at now, but it still plays a big factor in my life. And so when you started talking to me about the Danielfast, it really piqued my interest. So tell me a little bit about that.
So to give a backtrack of it, I actually do. I should have probably mentioned earlier, but you did mention already about the, and I say it wrong every time. The intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting. Yeah. I always think I'm swallowing a word whenever I say it. But anyways, that fasting. I actually do that, not only just physically speaking, but spiritually speaking for me, in my walk with God. I do that literally just about every other day to be sure first of all, I'm right in my faith in Jesus, but at the same time, for me, physically speaking, because I love breakfast. Of course, I already said I love food, but I'm a huge breakfast eater, whether if it's cereal, pancakes, waffles, French toast, anything. So what sparked the Danielfast was at the beginning of this year in 2022, my senior pastor at my home church, he had commissioned the entire church, just like a lot of churches do at the beginning of the year, however many days they want to, however long, they commission a fast and fasting, time of fasting and prayer to ring in the new year. And so we did 10 days. And I was like, amen, yes and amen. And so walking into that, I was like, well, for me personally, I was like, I've done 10 days before. And I know what that feels like, not only physically speaking, but spiritually speaking as well. But I want to take it to another level. And I've done challenges for me in various ways, whether if it was doing Drum Corps International right out of high school, 2 years of that, 2 summers of that. And other things I've done, I got to, with my wife and some good friends of ours, we got to climb the tallest peak of Texas. Nice. Which happened by mistake. We were supposed to go to Big Bend. Big Bend got closed because someone started a fire there. Oh, wow. So we got to do that. So I've done challenges before, and I wanted to do something that was going to challenge me out of my comfort zone. And because I've heard of Danielfast, I read about it. It's in the book of Daniel, and I've heard of people talking about it, how big of a blessing it was, not only spiritually speaking, but physically speaking. And I told my wife, I want to do it. I want to do it. She goes, are you sure? Because she's done it before. Okay. And I was like, are you sure? Because she knows how I eat. And mine is a whole bread thing, but like I love meat. I love vegetables as well. I love fruits and everything. But I love my meat, whether if it's a steak or chicken or fish, I love it. And so I did it. And sure enough, January 1st of this year, I started and commissioned the Danielfast. Nice. And I would definitely do it again. But that's how it all started, was from my home church. And from there, I was like, you know what, I want to go further. Again, not only spiritually speaking, but physically speaking, I wanted to challenge myself and see, man, is this, what could my body do? And I know even my dad was like, well, son, hope you can't lose much more weight than what you already have. And so, because I am pretty thin for my body height and weight, size and everything like that. I'm a good, I stay, very controlled with that. But so that's kind of how it all started.
So the Danielfast, is that, and just for a little bit more clarification, is that eliminating meat from your diet, period? Is that all just like vegetable, like kind of like vegetarian, or is it just?
It really surprised me because there was a lot of different dietitians, dietary people, nutritionists that gave their, obviously some Christians, some non-Christians, giving their plan, their point of view on the Danielfast. And every single one of them always led to, again, no meat at all.
Okay.
No poultry, no fish, no red meat, nothing. But at the same time, for a second I was like, wow, I'm gonna be eating salads every day, and it actually wasn't that.
Yeah.
I got to kind of, you could say, I always liked lentils, garbanzo beans, certain things like that. I didn't realize because of I don't want to say technology, but because of the advancement of nutrition, there's so many different ways to eat.
Yep.
So many different healthy ways, and so basically it's kind of like vegetarian, vegan, plant-based, all in one.
Which now you got like plant-based burgers, plant-based chicken sandwiches and stuff
Exactly.
like that. So I mean, it's really not that hard. For me, I've done the same thing. I've never done it to that level.
Yeah.
But I have tried to cut back on like red meats and stuff like that. So I did do I think it's called like Beyond Beef or Beyond Meat burgers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same taste as a Whataburger.
No, it
but
doesn't.
I mean, it kind of gives the same effect,
Those,
you know.
those are good though.
Yeah,
those
they
are good. Yeah.
And then so I did that. I tried the chicken sandwiches. Not bad. I mean, it really not bad. I mean, and for me, your tia Gloria will tell you I'm picky. Like, I mean, in her opinion, I'm picky. I say I'm simple. You know, when I go to a burger joint, I just ask for cheese, mustard, and pickles, and that's it. And everybody, I mean, ever since I was a kid, everybody would tell me, well, why can't you just be easy and order it as it comes? I'm like,
all the way.
It's just easier. It makes it easier for them not to put vegetables and everything else on there. Like, I'm the simple one. You guys are the ones being difficult, you know. You know, we would always, you know, we always kind of tease each other about that. But I mean, man, I mean, there is some great alternatives out there, you know. And to my surprise, you know, without really doing any research or really looking into it, you know, you're never gonna really know.
Exactly.
You know, and it just and for me, I think it's amazing when people can do something like that, really come off of their diet that they're so used to, and really hold on to something and complete a task like that, man, a challenge like that, really, because I mean, it's not an easy feat. You know, so what would you say was the most difficult part for you during this fast?
Here's a funny, difficult part of it, and there's a serious part of it. Number one, it was day 5, January the 5th. And, no, I'm sorry, January the 3rd. I think it was January the 3rd. Yes, the 3rd. 3 days in it. My grandma's birthday is the 4th, January 4th.
Okay.
And that night before, we were going to take her out to eat. And we did. And I'm like, all right, we're going to go out to eat. I'm already in my mindset thinking, you know, again, you're still on this diet, Raj. You're still on this diet. And you're still on this fasting in this lifestyle for 21 days. And okay, we get dressed, and I asked my dad, where are we going to eat? So we're going to Longhorn Steakhouse. Great. So and I shared this because it was a funny moment. Even my dad was like, "You're a better man than I am," because there everyone is, including my wife, because she wasn't able to, because that's when we found out that she was pregnant, and for the good of her and the baby, we're like, yeah, you're not gonna, it'll just be me. And so I see everyone ordering, you know, my dad right in front of me, his 12-ounce ribeye, you know, my mom and everyone else ordering what they want. And there I am ordering a chickenless salad, strawberry salad, and and that's funny because to me, because it was like, again, day 3 into it, and I'm like,
it starts to get real.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like the struggle's real.
Exactly. And okay, so now the serious part of it is this. It really opened up my eyes and my wife's eyes, and although we kind of knew it already, but it kind of, I won't say saddens me, like it brings me to tears, or I'm gonna get emotional about it, but it really saddens me to see the way the economic system is with nutrition. Literally, I would get upset because knowing that, not because, you know, we're buying food, but because of how high the inflation is for good food.
Yeah. You can go to a fast food restaurant and get the dollar menu.
Yeah.
But if you want to order a salad, it's like $5 or $6 bucks.
Exactly.
It's just like, you figured it'd be the other way around.
Exactly.
And, you know, they make it more convenient for us to
eat bad.
Eat bad.
It's a convenient to eat bad.
Yeah.
It literally is. It's a convenient to get the fattier tube of meat than it is to get that's like literally this long, like 80-20, or I don't know. I don't buy the meat, my wife does. But it's cheaper, it's more convenient, it's easier to buy the fattier meat, tube of meat, than it is to buy turkey meat that's this big, that's this long. You're gonna pay twice.
Yeah.
You know, and or if you know, and it just it really, you know, it's like I want to treat this temple, this body well, and yet it's literally investing. You're literally investing your hard-earned money, and however much, you know, I make, and along with my wife, but however much you're making, you know, with food. You know, like you'd rather spend it on a new furniture set or new drapes or new whatever, shoes, or if you have kids, you know, it needs to go there. But that's the biggest struggle that I had, was every time I knew we were going to walk into H-E-B, Natural Grocers, Aldi, that it was going to be more than, I would say, it never went under $90.
Wow.
And it wasn't like I was getting for an entire month.
Yeah.
I was getting it for a few days. And I was like, oh.
I imagine it's probably even worse now because with the way everything has gone up.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's what, you know, I know I've said this before in one of my previous videos. I mean, I think it was way early on, but it's like, you know, in life, so many people set out to do different things.
Yes.
It may be being a great parent. It may be being a great pastor, maybe a great mechanic, a business owner, a great husband, a great wife. You know, whatever it is that you set out to do, you know, we obviously want to be the best that we can be at it.
For sure.
But, you know, physically, if you can't perform, if you can't be to your 100% best physically, you know, how can you really expect to be great at what it is that you want to be great at?
Exactly.
You know, and that's and that's not a knock on anybody. You know, everybody has their journey, but that's how I felt. It's like, you know, me, I try to lead as good a spiritual life as I can as well. I'm not perfect, but you know, it hit me one day, and I was like, well, you know, with certain things that we watch, music that we listen to,
definitely,
things that we read, you know, if it's not going to be doing me any benefit, why let it in?
Exactly.
And then it hit me one day. It was like, same thing with what I'm putting into my body physically, with food. You know, if it's not going to be doing me any benefit, you know, I need food obviously, but if it's not going to be doing I was hooked on sodas, Reese's Pieces, peanut butter cups, breakfast tacos. Yeah. You know, fried chicken, everything fried. Yeah. Everybody knows wings are my weakness. Oh. Wings, chicken wings, Wingstop.
Especially when it comes to like football season, it's just perfect.
It's a must, right? And so it's like, you know, it was like, man, I understand that you're not letting anything in, you know, mentally, like the stuff that we see, music, all that stuff, but like physically, like what I'm gonna eat, like, man, how am I gonna really be able to watch what I eat and keep it as clean as possible, and do that as good as I can to get me physically where I want to be. But then I started, you know, when we talked about the plant-based stuff, you know, so like, or air fry, you know, air frying my food was another thing that I was like, wow, this is a way better option. And going back to those, just making those small shifts in life and making those wiser decisions, it can really have a great effect on your life, you know. So
and even like to add on that, one thing that I know my brothers and whatnot, they're always like, oh yeah, that's the way Raj is. Besides like the, you know, only one tortilla for the entire meal, especially if you're at Lupe Tortilla or if you're at a good spot that has good tortillas. But I don't do sodas. Yeah. I don't. I have been drinking soda in almost 4 years now. Wow. And that all started because I started to taste the high fructose corn syrup. Okay. Flat out, and it was the most. It was like I was literally tasting every single bad thing that was in every soda. Wow. And I only drank a few. Like I would, obviously your normal like Coke, Pepsi, RC, stuff like that. I wasn't really a Big Red fan or Dr. Pepper fan, you know. And even though I'm Texan, I'm sorry, I don't like. I was gonna say you're Texan. You don't like Big Red, man. Like I never liked Dr. Pepper or Big Red. I never did. But I stopped drinking because I was literally tasting everything that was bad inside of it. Yeah. And it wasn't like a spiritual moment for me, like, oh Lord, you're talking. No. It was like I can taste what's so bad about this. and even like within like Lipton teas and everything like that, like my some of my brothers are like, why are you reading the back? I'm like, cause something is in here that tastes awful.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that tastes bad, and I will go the extra mile and I will buy that organic, you know, green leaf, pure leaf tea.
Okay.
I will go on, you know, I'm to order off of Amazon.
Wow.
You know, to get it, you know, correct. You know, and you know, call me, you know, bougie or whatever, but because it's like what you're
making
saying,
the investment.
because I'm making an investment, and because I know that from my 6 to 3 job that I have right now, I want to be sure that I'm performing my best, and as well being a full-time leader at my church and where I serve at. I want to be sure I'm not hindering myself to be able to serve correctly, and whatever it may be.
You want to give the best version of you possible to whatever it is that you're doing.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, we get sick. You know, our bodies are imperfect, but I want to do the best I can.
Right. It's safe to say that Randy, you're gonna be my wing eating partner.
Hey, come to football season. Hey, I'm there, whether it's Pluckers or Wingstop.
I know Randy's down for it any day, so
Yeah.
I'm just playing, man. It's hilarious, man. Anytime we get together, and it's
For sure.
just it's just
For
a lot
sure.
of fun. So